Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome to Friday Fright Time, where every week I, Connor, along with my trusty sidekicks Kofi and Stu, dissect horror movies from throughout history, tearing our favourite, most memorable moments to pieces. This week we're headed back to 1996 to try and find out Pinocchio's revenge. What's Pinocchio getting revenge on? Fuck knows, to be honest. Stu, Kofi, the real boys, coming in right now. Because Pinocchio, get it? Shall I do this whole thing again?
No, keep that gay little laugh. Keep it.
Gay little laugh is kept.
Don't keep it, because I called it a gay little laugh and it's 2020 and people will have a problem with that.
Yeah, PC Brigade.
PC what? PC Brigade?
PC Brigade. He's the Irish policeman that I happen to know.
When someone's been degraded, they've called PC degrade.
Fuck's sake. Maybe it was PC Degrade who was the police officer at the start of this movie. Segue and a half.
Nice segue. Well done.
Yes, we're in the middle of the woods at night time. It's pissing it down with rain, and we've got a policeman who's wearing the same sort of raincoat as some of our friends from Friday the 13th were wearing. The fucking Paddington Bear special.
At least he hasn't got on the hot pants.
Or fucking Christmas socks.
There's like a guy and he's burying a real child, and then the policeman nearly crashes, and then does he arrest him?
They arrest him. They take him down to the station.
And then they unbury the child, I think?
They unbury him, did you just say?
They unbury...
That's what I've got wrote down in my notes.
They didn't dig him up.
They reverse buried him.
Does that mean if you're at someone's funeral, they're actually undigging them?
We're going to someone's just been unalived.
Fuck's sake. So we get more police officers show up at this crime scene, and they find a wooden puppet, and one of the officers goes, "What the hell have we got here?" It's a wooden puppet, mate. It's very, very fucking obvious what that is. It's apparently Pinocchio. Whether or not it's the famous Pinocchio, or if it's just someone's decided to name it Pinocchio, it's not really specified, I suppose.
I think it was a different Pinocchio. He looked different.
He looked fucking extremely... What the hell was wrong with his face, for God's
It was
sake?
fucking massive, wasn't he?
Well, he didn't start off that big. When he was buried with a child, he wasn't that big, but then suddenly he was like 7 foot tall. I got really excited by this film because before I watched it, I looked up who was in it to see if there was anyone worth watching. And it said Vern Troyer was in it.
I found that out late.
And I was like, oh, I'm really sold because Vern Troyer is a fucking awesome actor. He's literally my favourite person under 4 foot tall. Why is that funny? Do you not keep categories of people at certain heights?
Well, I was just thinking, surely your son must be shorter than 4 foot.
No.
He's taller?
No, I just don't like him. Do you not do that? Do you not keep
Well played, by
for male actors? I've got a list from Vern all the way up to Shaq of who I
Wow.
like. And in the female categories, I go from Little Kim up to I don't know, Lisa Tarbuck.
Lisa Tarbuck built like a wardrobe.
Absolute fucking unit. But anyway, I was really happy until it just said at the end of this really terrible film that he played the part of Pinocchio's double. But I don't know, other than one scene where Pinocchio runs across a road, I don't think there's any scene where Pinocchio's not stood still.
Mate, that really kind of irritated me throughout the film because, he's just a normal doll, completely silent, and he doesn't say anything for absolutely ages. Then when he does, his mouth doesn't move.
And his voice.
He sounds like Milhouse.
Getting rid of David would be a good thing. The same way punishing that bitch at school was a good thing.
Don't you hate that we have to go back to stupid school tomorrow?
He was like, we could live together forever. He sounded like Michael Jackson. Maybe it was Michael Jackson, and that's why this film was so noncy.
Yeah,
Sorry, Michael.
It's alright, he's dead.
Yeah, fuck him.
He's not going to listen.
There was really no need for this film to have these 8-year-old girls' underwear on show quite regularly.
Yeah.
Then have a child who watches and listens to her parents fucking a few times, and then immediately has the doll get into bed repeatedly with different children. Then the kids call her Zoe Blowy, and she's like an 8-year-old child. Then they keep showing the mum and dad in bed together, and then they cut to the child with the doll in exactly the same positions.
Yeah, it's really strange.
This whole film is basically fucking paedophilia. Really, the whole film needs burying like that kid at the beginning, but there's your segue back into this nonce fest.
Well, it's a good segue because when you're on about the kid at the beginning who's buried in the ditch, even the murderer leans in to give this dead kid a little kiss. It's like, oh, you creepy bastard.
Yeah.
It's just littered with stuff like that.
It's rotten.
I'll tell you what I think was a bit weird as well. Pinocchio's design. He's meant to be made of wood, but whatever they've made him out of, it makes him look like fucking rubber. And then he's in this sort of blue and yellow outfit. He looks like the fucking Vault Boy from the Fallout games.
Oh, wow.
That's the vibe that I got. The lawyer, Zoe's mum, she has requested the doll and some other items from the crime scene at the beginning. It's just all being left on her desk in an unlocked room.
And I love the way that when they do bring it in and they put it on her desk, she looks at it and she's like, what the hell is this? Why are you bringing me this? It's the evidence you requested. And she goes, oh, I remember that.
Oh yeah,
hell.
I am a lawyer.
We get to see the murderer in jail because she goes to visit him to work out what happened and why is he in jail. And they just keep doing these weird jump scares of him, but the jump scares are him just putting his hand on the glass. And
I think he's trying to convince the woman that he's actually a murderer, and she's not convinced. And the way he tries to convince her is just by randomly going, bah! She goes, haha, nice try.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot! He's literally telling you he should go down, and she's like, no.
If you were the guy that had to continually clean that glass,
Oh, you'd be fucked off, wouldn't you?
just keep your fucking hands off it, mate. It's not scary if you just put your hand on the glass all of a sudden. But he wouldn't listen, and that poor guy had to clean that glass 3 times that day.
The amount of window lean he's shoved onto that screen.
They get through 4 litres of window lean on that one fucking booth.
What was the budget?
Nobody knows.
Not fair. Fucking
Not
hell.
fucking Scooby on this one.
Vern Troyer's got to have racked up the cost.
Was he doing Austin Powers at this time?
Austin Powers has to be around there, surely.
A few moments later.
Fuck off. Austin Powers, the first one, 97.
Oh, this was
97?
just after this then.
This film propelled Vern Troyer into the
One
movie.
little walk over the road.
Mike Myers was like, I fucking love the way he walks. Get him in this. Get him in. I've got a role for him.
We have another girl at the school who's sort of Zoe's rival. They end up having a fight, and Zoe pins her down on the floor and starts Mike Tyson in her ear. But this other girl's response is just to stand up, but she doesn't react at all about the fact her ear is now pissing with blood.
Yeah, and old Zoe Blowy's got that fucking blood all round her mouth where she's absolutely fucking gnawed her ear to pieces.
So not only has the girl had her ear nearly chewed off, but there's a scene later in the film where she gets run over by a bus, and she just completely no-sells it. The teacher runs over, and the teacher is hilarious because she's got a proper laugh on her face. She can't contain the fact that this 8-year-old child's just been decimated. But then the girl stands up while she gets picked up by the teacher. She's just not crying. She's not showing any sign of pain. Not able to show pain whatsoever.
It was Pinocchio that used a broom handle to shove it between her spokes. She went flying off her bike.
While you were speaking about the teacher with that stupid grin, I think the teachers in the school are all a little bit special, to be honest, because they're in like a class. The teacher asks a question and two of the students answer. I can't exactly remember what the answer was, but the teacher goes, oh yeah, well, when the two best students in the class agree, then it must be right, and then just moves on completely.
That's not how education works. There's a top quality electric chair scene. He gets zapped and he's sitting there.
I'll do that one again, please.
Like fuck, I can't find my words. He knows so.
It's because you've just been electrocuted.
Yeah, no, just what you didn't see is off screen. I actually just put my fork into a plug socket. That was an actual real thing. But he completely no-sells the fucking electric chair until the end, where he just goes, he dies. It's a bit like that first Transformers cartoon movie when Optimus Prime dies, and he just turns his head away and he goes, ugh.
I wasn't expecting that comparison.
We have to watch that.
Just like that.
Speaking again of bad films, in this one, have you noticed whenever they're outside...
That's amazing segue.
If it's during the nighttime, there is always really loud crickets. And if it's during the day, there's always really loud birds.
Yeah, I did
The
notice
sound effects
that.
are fucking shit. Almost as bad as the fucking acting.
Oh,
Whoa.
God.
It's
So
horrendous.
So
aggressive.
is these people.
I tell you what wasn't so terrible. There was a priest in it.
Yes! We haven't had a priest on the show in a while.
But not just any priest. A priest that gets taken out for coffee. He's not so godly. She's literally like, could I take you for coffee? And he's like, yeah, fucking right, yeah.
Maybe he got his skills from the Killer Nun.
Yeah, maybe he's pissed. Or just hammered on opiates. She loves that priest. She is fucking all over it. And it made me think, much like Madonna in the 80s, she probably wanted to get on her knees and pray, if you know what I mean.
Because that's what women in the 80s do.
The fucking babysitter. What is wrong with her accent?
Yeah.
She sounds like she's a Jamaican trying to pretend to be French, for fuck's sake.
She's nearly Italian, I think she
She's
is.
supposed to be nearly Italian, but she definitely is not.
The toy store called, said there was a mix-up in his shipping and they won't have it all till a Monday.
Do you want to have a crack at it, Kof?
Jesus, no, I actually don't this time.
Go on, say Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Is that it? You're from Japan? Oh, Pinocchio. Yeah, very good.
Fucking hell, it was shite.
Why is she nearly Japanese?
Do you mean like, oh shit, what country's in near Japan?
Cheltenham.
It could be Dagenham. It could be Warrington.
Back to Cheltenham. The mum and dad starting to get jiggy on the sofa, and
Oh, God.
the puppet's just there watching. Immediately in my head I thought, I bet that's giving him some wood. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna write that fucker down.
You've been stealing from my joke book again, haven't you? I tell you who has. One of the kids in the classroom at the beginning. The teacher's like, oh, next week we're going to be doing Dr. Dolittle. And so he's like, oh, good. She loves to do little. It's like, you're stealing me jokes as well, you little bitch. Get your mitts off my book.
But yeah, the puppet's just watching the mum and dad fuck, and then
Whoa.
and then it just turns out it's the kid watching him as well, which again was fucking just a bit odd. And the mum and dad, they don't even really try and cover up what they, you know.
No.
Kofi, you've only got a very young daughter, and Connor, you'll never have kids because you probably never have
Wow.
sex. But
Jesus Christ.
And on that bombshell, I'm out of this show. You can do it yourselves, boys.
all I was going to say is, there's a time where obviously you and your partner are trying to, you know, have a bit of fun, and the kid's not around, and then the kid walks in. It happens. It happens from time to time. But what
does.
you don't carry on doing is just sitting there with your cock out. Yeah, you don't. You're not just like, yeah, we were fucking. What's up, little one? You just, you know, you try and hide it a bit. The mum and dad didn't even give a shit. She was watching them, you know, at it.
It leans into the narrative later on that Pinocchio is not actually a scary possessed doll or whatever. That it's actually just Zoe imagining everything.
Yeah.
But like the very last shot of this film is that they're both now in a mental asylum. which was a shit ending. I mean, the whole ending sequence was shit to begin with. So let me pull it back a bit. You've got Pinocchio having a fight in the house, like stalking the mum, the lawyer. There's a part which was my favourite part of the film, which is that the mum picks Pinocchio up and launches him through a coffee table, fucking flying.
Just like before that scene, that's when Zoe's mum, she goes to the church to ask the priest whether he believes in like evil forces and shit. She leaves him and comes back to the house and it's all dark. She walks in and turns the light on. As soon as she turns the light on, the fucking Hoover comes on for some reason.
Yeah, what the fuck's this?
And then Zoe's in there, panicking. Pinocchio comes out and starts fucking running about and trying to fight the mum. And then Zoe runs in the room just before they're having a fight. And she goes, Mum, we have to get out of here before he comes back. And then she pelts it out the door without a mum.
She's like, I took this off him, and she's taken like the thing that she smashed the babysitter's face in with.
Oh yeah, what the fuck?
She's like, I've taken this off him, and then just fucking legs it. But there's I just don't get it. Like, the kid's just a fucking retard. Even if she thinks Pinocchio's real and he's talking to her, at one point, the kid starts getting told by the puppet, he's like, everything would be better if we just, I don't know, kill everyone.
Yeah.
And you'd think at that point, she'd probably go, nah, please don't kill my stepdad. But she's just like, perhaps.
She's like, that's a bit strange of you to say that, to be honest. Oh, well, never mind. Oh, no, you've tried to kill David. Why the fuck are all the doors made out of paper in the
when he
house?
stabs through the door, it's already cut open, isn't it? You can see the line.
Fuck me.
It's like Plan 9 for Outer Space
I was just
all over
about
again.
to say that.
I love how as well she gets shanked straight through the hand and again no sells it.
Yeah, just no one in this movie feels pain.
None whatsoever.
David falls down the basement and fucking nearly dies. And then he goes to hospital. I think he's in a coma and he's
Yeah.
on a life support machine. Pinocchio pulls the plug out. And the next morning, like, Zoe's mum gets a call from David's mum saying, oh my god, the hospital have said that he's died and they can't explain what happened. Like, that is the hospital just trying to cover up their fucking mistakes, that the life support machine didn't work properly. Like, they knew what happened.
Well, the thing is, when he flatlines, no doctor or nurse comes into that room.
I know, yeah, just beep, 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 and he's fucking tied up. Why is he tied up when he's in a coma? He's like strapped down to the bed.
There's a couple of bits that I really like just for their stupidity in this film. There's one bit when they try and buy Zoe Blowy a female doll instead.
Yeah, that's after she asks about the sex.
And they find that Pinocchio's just absolutely fucked up the female puppet and then butchered her and just left her under the sofa or the bed to be found.
The legs
But you
sticking
just see her
out.
little May legs hanging out the end.
Fucking hell, we haven't had male eggs in ages.
You know, she kind of figures out that, like, there's this weird fucking puppet Zoe thing happening. She goes to look for Zoe, and then she just looks under the sofa, like the child would fit under the sofa. Like, how big is the gap that you think a child could fit under that? That made me laugh as well. That was just an enjoyable moment for myself.
Overall, do you think it was an enjoyable film? I know we've had a laugh talking about it on the show, but when you're actually watching it...
I think my opinion of the film is probably the same as the scream that Pinocchio lets out just before he tries to stab Zoe's mum.
recreated, Kof.
It was just like...
Now do it in the babysitter's accent. That sounded like the electric chair. What the fuck was that? No, an electric chair does not go wah 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 wah.
Fucking dubstep.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So there we go. That was mine, Kofi's and Stu's review of 1996's Pinocchio's Revenge. If there are any other movies about mental killer puppets or anything that you'd like us to review on the show, put it in the comments and we'll get round to it at some point. If you want to go and check out UTG on social media, you can do Facebook and Instagram where it's at, and you can also subscribe to the fucking channel, please, because we need loads of subscribers. That'd be lovely.
Thank you very much. Subscribe.
Appreciate your attention for the last 15 to 20 minutes, however long we actually edit this down to, and appreciate your investment by hitting that subscribe ring and slapping that notification bell.
And most importantly, buy our shit.
I knew it.
Nailed it.